It's 1997 in the city. There's a raging heat wave, an incredible drug war in the streets between the Colombians and the Jamaicans and the police trying to intervene. And the predators have always chosen heat and conflict, where the action is, where the danger is. What would it be like to have an extraterrestrial dilettante hunter hunt us the same way that we go to Africa and hunt big game? That was the very first concept. The first one was set in Central America, where a lot of military action was taking place. Had it been 20 years before that, it probably would have been someplace like Vietnam or Cambodia.
You feel like you're watching one of Arnold's, action flicks, and then all of a sudden, out of left field comes this alien.
When we were in the jungle, we always talked about what possible sequels there might be, and one of the fantasies we had is what would this camouflage effect look like? What would the predator look like in an urban environment? What would he look like against concrete and steel in the cities? So that was one of the things that we always toyed around with.
The writers had done the first one, and so they knew the story really clearly, and so that was really helpful. And I don't think they'd quite finished the script when I first came on. They really talked me through it, and then they showed me where they were. And because it happened so quickly, then I worked with them, and I'd be storyboarding sequences to see how these sequences could work. They knew what the sequences wanted to be, they just hadn't completely described them all.
It's always a question with sequels. So many times they have a tendency to beat the same idea to death again.
It's not just an alien movie, it's not just a horror movie, it's a detective story, it's a mystery, it's a science fiction story, it's an action movie, and it crosses over into a lot of different genres.
This is quite cerebral, and you get a sense of who this otherworldly being is, and I don't use the word monster, otherworldly being is, and his train of thought.
I think the first Predator was a terrific experience for all the moviegoers because it was a terrific creature, but it went to the jungle, and the jungle is something we may see on the news, but it's not really part of our daily lives because we all live in the cities and suburbs, and I think this movie really hits home because it shows the dangers of the city. It shows where we may be headed if we're not careful with our air and our crime and our violence in the streets. Basically what happens is, this creature realizes that this is a place to party. This is hot stuff in the city.
Like a redneck on a weekend and goes hunting for trophies and fun. And hopes to leave with enough stuff to impress his friends.
The predator is now in an urban environment rather than in the jungle. And actually it's left it much more wide open for planning of stunts because we have motor vehicles and buildings and large expanses between buildings that he can leap and jump down from tall buildings to lower buildings and stuff, where in the jungle we were somewhat limited to just the trees and the bushes and things.
He's off on a wild trip. This one is not doing what normal predators do, which is hunt and go by the rules. He's definitely breaking all the rules. So he's a wild boy.
All of a sudden it gets turned around, right. Yeah, there's a reversal in this movie. The humans are being hunted. It's about time. That's kind of a universal statement here.
Up until the 20s or 30s or 40s on this planet, hunting was very much a manly and a heroic thing to do and never thought of as detrimental to the environment or sadistic in any way. Like you say, it's a reversal in that way. I don't think this creature sees it as a wrong thing to do. He sees it as an honorable opportunity.
In terms of the environment, I mean, what if it's 110 degrees all over the world in 1997? We could be headed that way. Who knows? But anyway, these outer world life forces that come in have these self-defense mechanisms that they can exist anywhere, anytime, any place. And if they get cornered or confused, they will terminate themselves rather than being captured. And this is what my character knows. And it's a delicate job, trailing him. And we have all kinds of sensor computers to test his heat and to see where he is, to find out where his spacecraft is, to find out where he eats, what he eats, where he's going to hit next, what his patterns of decomposing the enemy is, and who he's after. And I want to get in here, and I set up the last mission, which was the CIA commission in the jungles. And that's how we lost the character that Arnold played. We lost him 9 weeks after the movie was over. That's why he's not here.
So Arnold went off to do Terminator 2, which is a much bigger project with one of the great directors in the world. And I think in a way it was interesting not to have Arnold in it, you know, because it just made it a really different piece.
This is what I call the speech kid. It's the only one I got. I only give it once, so pay attention. Till now, it's all been fun and games, cops and robbers, Dunkin' Donuts. But you're in the shit now.
I think Harrigan rhymes with arrogant in some sort of way, and I think this cop is somewhat that. He's full of his own, you know. He says he lives in a rough time, a rough period, and he says these are my streets, and I want to know what's going on.
Danny's got a big heart. He's a wonderful giving actor. We did Lethal Weapon 1 together, then we traveled to Japan and China and Australia together, promoting it.
Working with Danny, I have to tell you, he's been such a hero of mine. It was the same way with, you know, working with Arnold on the first pictures. You see these people, and all of a sudden you're opposite them. Danny has got such good energy, and he's always so committed. You know, when he's chasing me, you know, he's really after me. When I'm after him, he's really running. It's been really fun. It's been fun.
I really wanted to work with Danny. I kind of felt like if we had an actor who you weren't used to being in these sort of roles, but who had this kind of strong physicality, that he might bring something to a character that really didn't have much chance to really, you know, you didn't have much chance to find out about him.
I found it kind of interesting to be playing opposite him because it's almost like I felt like I was watching him on TV or something. It's like, oh wait, it's my line now. But no, he's very centered. He's very methodical, and he's almost like hypnotic in his acting. Brings you in so much that you really can't help but listen to him if he's talking to you in a scene, which is the best thing that you can possibly be doing, is actually really listening.
Now, don't get me wrong. We need good cops down here, and they say you're good at what you do. But the team comes first. That's it.
It's like making a cake, and he's got a good content of batter and a variation of spices that go into making a performance. Danny's got the energy to put forth life on the celluloid.
You don't know what you're dealing with, and I'm warning you. Stay the fuck out my way.
It's wonderful to be to work with Gary again. It's like family again, you know. It's always nice about this business. Sometimes you get a chance, but often you don't. But sometimes you get a chance to work with people who you admire and people that you've worked with before.
I guess you're wondering what we're doing here in these barbecue outfits. Well, it's easy. We're going in after another world life force from another galaxy that has a self-defense mechanism that we don't understand. It's intangible to this time and space. It's actually from the theory of relativity and from the theory of quantum mechanics. Take those properties and equalize them, and you have the quantum theory of gravity, which is a discussion of how this universe started and how it will end. The Predator knows that information already. It is our job and our objective to go capture the Predator, sit him down, have a talk with him, find out why he does what he does, how he does what he does, and where he gets the weaponry and the defense mechanisms he uses in order to obtain his goal. And that is our goal. If we don't achieve that goal, we will be turned into vapor clouds made of small pink particles known on Earth as blood.
Gary Busey had worked on Lethal Weapon with Joel, so he really wanted, you know, him to be in the film, and, you know, which I was completely happy about because he's quite a character.
No, I think it was good for the team. I just need my glasses!
Need the glasses. You see what happens? You get in the movies and what happens? You get some sunglasses that cost $5,000. You lose them in the chopper, they take them away, you never see them again. They say it's an e-ticket ride, but it's not. It's a Fox ticket ride, and I'm having a ball.
But Gary hadn't done a film for a couple of years because he had a terrible motorcycle accident, which he was very lucky to survive, and in fact died for a while, and regaled us with all these stories about what it felt like, the afterlife.
December 4th, 1988, at 1:15 in the afternoon, I hit the concrete going 45 knots. And I had some out-of-body experiences, and I went to the other side. So there's a real curious element in what is out of this world, and we're just merely a speck in the whole thing.
He's just such a huge character. It was great to have him playing a role that otherwise would have been played by some nerdy scientific, you know, kind of feeling person.
Lions, the tigers, the bears. Oh my.
Trophies. That's the game, isn't it, Keys?
You're the lion. This is his jungle.
Hold 1 second. I can't remember the name of my of my partner. What's Bill Paxton. Okay. So the team is Danny Glover and Ruben Blades and Billy Paxton and myself. And we are the 4 detectives that are fighting this mafioso stuff.
She kind of reminded me mostly of more of this policewoman that I knew who we were using as a consultant.
Maria was kind of like, she said, well, I can't get to know you too well. You know, we're not supposed to like each other in the movie. I'm her new partner, and I've got this reputation for being a real loner. Yeah, and the idea that I got a partner hurt or killed before I came to this division, and she's worried about that.
You try that cowboy shit with me, fucking you can kiss this. Goodbye. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
I love it when she puts on her you know, her tough thing with me, because underneath I know she's just a really genuinely sweet, warm, affectionate person.
Maria Conchita Alonso is a Venezuelan actress who is also an accomplished musician. I met her in Venezuela many years ago as a musician. At the time, she was also working in television. She was doing soap operas.
Maria and I have the same birthday, and she loves onions and garlic. She's a lovely singer.
Gary Busey is also here, but the predator is not after him. Oh! He's after me, but no, there he is. He's
That's really an onion. It looks like an Oreo, but it's an onion. This girl loves onion and garlic because that's the only thing the predator will go for. So she eats onions and garlic. They look like Oreos, and I'm not kidding you. If I was kidding you, I wouldn't be here. I'd be somewhere else in a different suit of clothes, working in a regular job.
Gary,
thank you very much.
Here, have your cookie.
Thanks. I'll see you
You're
later.
welcome. Bye.
Nobody says shit like Maria.
No, I've been feeling like shit the whole week.
Feel like shit. No, but Ruben is my second time around with Ruben. And it was a joy the first time, and Ruben's my brother in a way, and it's equally a joy this time.